Welcome to this important video. In this video, we are going to discuss Python user-defined function in detail. So let me recall it that Python has two type of function. First type is called built-in functions. These are the functions which are already defined in computer of or Python. So these are already defined and we do not need to define them again. Whereas on the other hand, there are second type of functions which are called user defined function which are needed to define them. So here we will discuss user defined function in detail. So this is the syntax or way to define the user defined function or UDF. This function has three main parts. In the first line, we define the function, or we can say we write the name of function with its variables. In this case, we decide how many variables we are going to write, and second thing is what should be the name of function. And this is the keyword def which should be used at the start of function which when it is defined. Next line is optional, in which we can write some string parts. This is optional. And next is the block code. This is the main part of function, and this is very important. And next last is the end of function, in which it is also used to store the result which will display with a variable. So this here it can be any variable whose result should be displayed or stored at the end of this execution. So here is the first example. This function is used to add the two numbers, and these numbers are x and y. In this case, you can see here first we have written the name of function. In the second line, we have performed the code of function, which is the main part, and this line shows the end of function, and we can use it here anytime in future as well. So let me use this at Python software. Clear how does this work. I am going to open a Python software which will display how does this work. Okay, here I am going to see that I am going to define the function first, and here I will write the name. That I am going to write the name as addNum. Here are two arguments, two variables. One variable is x, another variable is y. Here I will add the number in this part, which is sum plus y, and next in next part I will show that this function has been ended and its result should be stored. So now I'm going to use it in future. What I will do, I will write here add and write here 2 3, and I write z as a variable in which this result should be stored. And what will I do, I will print the result of this variable z, and now I'm going to run this code. As soon as I run this code, you can see here the output of this result has been stored. So you can see here this function has three main parts. In the first line, the name of function is written. In the second line, and here so many lines can be, in which the block code of function is written, and final line is the return which shows the end of this function. And next we have called it in any time in future. Okay, so this is how the function works. And here are some common rules which are used for user defined function, and these rules are that the function block always start with a keyword, and this keyword is def. So the function always start with a keyword def, with which the name of function is written and a parenthesis is given. Parentheses have some input arguments which are any variables. They can be any variables, and we can define the value of these parentheses as well. Next has Python as optional docstring part. And next is the Python as main part, which is also called code block or block code. And in final part, which is the return keyword, which shows the end of function. So here we are going to check another function or perform another user defined function, which is called to check the number whether it is even or odd. So what will we do? We will first define the variable. You can see here we will define it as even odd. and here is the variable in bracket which is x. So what will we do? We will display here that if x mod 2 is equal to 0, then we will print that the number is even, and if this is not equal to 0, then we will print that the number is odd. So similarly we are going to check it, and finally we use the return part which shows the end of this function. And now we are going to check whether the number is even or odd, and we will check simply even odd, and we will write a value here. Now I'm going to run this code, and as soon as I run this code, it will display that whether the number is even or odd, and you can see here at the output, this is the number is odd. We do not need to define here the print variable because here we have already used the print statement inside the block code of this function. Again, this user defined function has three parts. In the first line, we have written the name of function and the number of variables. In the second, third, fourth, and fifth line, we have mentioned the block code that how this function should work. And in the final line, return, this shows the end of this function. And now we have used it in future anytime. This is how the user defined function work. And hopefully it will be clear to you up to here. Thank you so much. If you have any query, then you can ask in comments. Thank you.